the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. This is a Saturday special, and I am super excited about my guest today. Bryce Weiler reached out to me, and he said, Ray, I'd love to come on the end of the day with Ray and tell a little bit about my story and what I do. But before I start talking to Bryce, let me tell you a little bit about Bryce. Bryce has a master's degree from Western Illinois University in sports management. Bryce runs a nonprofit called Beautiful Lives Project. And Bryce is also a sportscaster. And Bryce has accomplished all of these things, on top of which he's also a consultant for corporations large and small, helping them not only recruit and hire, but maintain people with some challenges. Because Bryce, he was thrown an obstacle in his way, but it didn't keep him from seeking out his passion and doing all the things I just said. Because Bryce is blind, but you know what? It didn't stop you, Bryce. I'm super excited to have you on. You're a testament to following your dreams. And you've definitely followed them and you're achieving them, and that's fantastic. How are you doing, buddy?
Hi, Ray. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to speak about all the work I've done to help people with disabilities to live their dreams, from the Beautiful Lives Project to my role as the Orioles disability consultant to work I am accomplishing with companies to make websites more accessible and to hire people of all disabilities for employment within companies. And maybe some of your friends at large, small, and medium-sized companies across the country will be interested in having me assist them and helping people of all disabilities to gain great employment, because everyone deserves the opportunity to have a great job and to feel as if they are valued by society as a whole.
Well, you know, Bryce, that's a fantastic mission. You know, a lot of companies out there today, they brag about their corporate cultures. They talk about corporate cultures. But you know what? A really good corporate culture is inclusive to everybody. And, you know, you can really help them reach out to some absolute quality people that just might have a little bit of a challenge. But there's so much technology out there today. It's amazing. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you see with some of the organizations that you consult with, you know, and how can you help them?
I'll talk about some of the challenges that I have faced first, and then I will tell some things that I consider when I work with companies, whether it's making websites more accessible or just in hiring people who have disabilities. People who have disabilities, they feel nervous telling people they're blind or deaf or in a wheelchair because of their autism, because they don't want to lose that opportunity at whatever job they are trying to get. I know whenever I used to apply for jobs on the internet, it was hard for me to fill out the application first, because sometimes you had to attach a document such as a resume or a cover letter, and I'd have to find someone who could help me do that, because the applications often would not be accessible with my screen reading program, which is JAWS, which stands for Job Access with Speech. Mm-hmm. I would never tell people that I was blind when I'd send in cover letters, and in any of the other documents, it would never say anything about me being blind, because one doesn't have to disclose whether he or she is blind or deaf or in a wheelchair or any disability. So I would never say that, but someone would always type my name into Google and they would see pictures of me shooting free throws with my eyes closed, because my eyes are always closed, because I've never really been able to open them since I was born 4 months premature. Or they would read some articles about my life as a blind sports radio broadcaster, and they would email me or call me and tell me they had no idea that I had done those sorts of things, and that it was so inspiring to them, and they let me know how the process was going on whatever job I was trying to get, whether it was something in sports or outside of sports. And I never really heard from those people again. So I figured out that, you know, having articles and things written about me can be good in some ways, because they can let people know the obstacles that I've had to overcome, and how anybody can help someone who has any disability be successful. You don't have to have a famous job title or even be a famous person to help someone who has any, you know, challenge to be successful in life. But in the second case, those articles were a bad thing in a lot of ways, because people then knew that I was blind just by typing my name into the internet. So I started figuring out email formats, and I started emailing companies and sports teams, and I've helped Baltimore's baseball team at Camden Yards become the first team in sports to wear Braille on their jerseys to honor people who are blind. I have helped ensure that the Orioles home stadium of Camden Yards, as well as the spring training stadium of Ed Smith Stadium, are accessible for fans of all disabilities. We've given fans of all disabilities the opportunity to play on the field with Baltimore's players and coaches before 2 home games at Camden Yards. And in addition, I'm working with Baltimore on a hiring program to hire people of all disabilities for jobs um, um, with their team. And with this hiring program, there are many layers that I would go to it first with a company or a sports team. Mm-hmm. It's the same to me. It doesn't matter if it's a sports team or company, because everyone who has any disability or challenge, they just want to feel accepted, loved, and know there's people out there in the world who will care about them. So a company could send me a certain range of jobs, whether it's sales or marketing or phone jobs or jobs somebody has to go out and sell things door to door, or any type of a job. Mm-hmm. And I could tell them all the various things that would be needed to hire a person of every disability for that job, whether it's someone who's blind, someone who's in a wheelchair, someone who has autism, how the job could be changed to help a certain group, or the necessary technology or other items such as a sign language staff member who can translate things into sign language for someone who is deaf. And we would talk about all the costs of those items for all the various groups, whether it's someone who's blind or someone who's in a wheelchair, someone who's deaf, someone who has autism. Then I'd speak with the company about how much money do they want to put into this, because obviously hiring someone who needs extra technology, that will cost more, so they think about that cost. And then once we have that figure down, we start trying to find good candidates who would suit for these types of roles. Now maybe we hire someone who can see somewhat. They're just visually impaired. They're not totally blind like myself. So they don't need specialized training to learn how to navigate through the work setting, or they don't need a special screen reading program possibly on their laptop, which is what I have, so that whenever Ray emails me, they are read to me, or whenever anyone emails me, I hit one of the buttons on my laptop and it will read the entire email to me. That's done through the insert plus the down arrow key being hit at the same time. So if you hire someone who doesn't need as much technology or special staff teaching them how to navigate through the work setting, or someone there to do sign language for them, then maybe you can hire more people who have other disabilities to work throughout other roles in your company. But it all comes down to the budget and just really ensuring that whether you're going to hire 2 people who have disabilities or 20 people who have disabilities, that you have the funding and the understanding to get these individuals what they need to be successful in your company, but most of all to show them how your company cares and how your company wants them to be successful in their life, because doing that will get more people interested in your brand and your products and will help in your market segmentation.
Well, Bryce, those are fantastic things. And, it seems to me that not only do you have the experience living this life yourself, but you can really help a company understand and how to navigate through that process. That's just fantastic, And you do this now, you said, for the Baltimore Orioles. Was that correct?
Yes, I have been Baltimore's disability consultant since June of 2016. I have also helped some other companies with programs for people of all disabilities, making buildings more accessible and making websites more accessible. One of those was the Marcus Corporation, which is a big theater company out in the Wisconsin area of the country. I worked with them to make their websites more accessible, and I told them ways that they could make their hotels and their restaurants and their other buildings more accessible without ever setting foot inside of one of their buildings, which you can do for a company. I've done it for baseball stadiums, but I've been through enough buildings that I just have a checklist in my head and a checklist on my computer that I can send companies things and say, go look at this, go check that, tell me how it is. But I don't mind walking through a building at all, because there are things that I can't check through emailing someone, such as checking all the Braille signs to ensure that they're actually written in the proper Nimith code for numbers, and that the signs actually say what they're supposed to say, because some of them don't. I've found at least one mistake in every building or every stadium that someone's had me check through their Braille signs.
Well, that's just an amazing story. It's just a fantastic thing that you're doing, Bryce. And I wish you all the luck in the world. And I know you do the sports casting. That's just a famous. It's almost incomprehensible how you do this, but you do it because you have a passion for life and you have a passion for your cause. Your nonprofit's fantastic. I'm going to put a link to that on this video. But is there anything you want to add before we close?
With the Beautiful Lives Project, we work to help people of all disabilities be able to live their dreams in programs in sports, art, cheerleading, dance, ballet, and many programs throughout the country. If people would like to pull up our website, it is www.beautifullives.org. We'd love to have anyone become a chapter president and to help us create programs to help people of all disabilities be able to live their dreams throughout the country. Companies can help through sponsoring events or programs. We'd love to have companies do that, or anyone who would like to be a chapter president, or if they have any family member or anyone who has any disability, we'd love to have them participate in an event. We take anyone of any age and any disability. It does not matter to us. And companies can reach out to me about any of this, whether it's learning more about my life or about how I could work with them as a consultant to help them hire people of all disabilities, to create programs to further their customer base, such as doing specialized programs to take people who might be blind or deaf or having autism or any disability out to the movies, or to really broaden their customer base through going out and through doing these types of programs. People can email me or call me or text me. And my email is bryce@beautifullives.org, BRYCE@beautifullives.org. My phone number is 812-899-5673, 812-899-5673. I'd love to tell companies more about everything we talked about so far, from being a consultant for Baltimore to the Beautiful Lives Project, just how companies can really care and learn how to help people who have all disabilities to live their dreams. Because I've found that there are so many people who want to help people who have disabilities, but they're scared because they've never helped someone who has a disability, or they helped someone sometime who may have been blind or in a wheelchair, and that person was kind of rude to them, wasn't always the nicest about accepting that help. And since that point, they've been nervous to ask the next person with a disability whether or not he or she needs their help. So just reach out. I'd love to speak with anyone about anything. And thank you, Ray, for this opportunity to be on your show.
You know what, Bryce? I love your passion. This is an exciting guy. He's on a mission, and let's all try to help Bryce out any way we can. And realistically, you know what? Like I said in the beginning of this, corporate culture is important, but it's not really culture unless you include the whole culture. My friend, I appreciate having you on, because we all know this, Bryce. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo. Have a fantastic Saturday, and we'll see you all on Monday.
Thank you so much, Ray.